see here. I gotta finish this off. Give me a second. Yeah, I see you, Fluffles. Oh, okay. Alright. Yeah, we can do that. No worries. I have to finish the chart here. Give me a second. Let's see. What's happening? Something's jammed. Oh, I guess it's okay. My poor little computer. Alright, this is what we've got booked already for tonight. So I probably got room for one more. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Fluffles. Alright, let's go over here so I can hang out with you guys. Okay, hey, it's Sunday Night Live. Mini tarot readings. You gotta reveal things to heal things. That's what doctors do. That's all we're doing here, but it's at the psychic spiritual realm. We take the little tarot card deck, tune it up, turn it on, plug it in, do the reading, and there you go. Once you have a bit of clarity about the situation, then you can make better decisions about what to do with your life. You know, people want to know everything. Oh, where did my boyfriend go? Where did my girlfriend go? Why is my career crashing? Or when am I going to be rich? Or, like you said here, any messages from the great beyond? My loved ones from the great beyond. It almost doesn't really matter what the subject is, but mostly it's because people have questions in their heart, in their mind, their body, their soul, and that don't seem to be able to be answered by, your psychiatrist, your therapist. Who's that? New Zealand? Linda Swan from New Zealand. Oh my gosh. I have a real soft spot for New Zealand. I was watching some little videos the other day of Raglan, the little town of Raglan on the west coast. I loved going there. I loved going over into the harbor area. It doesn't seem to be part of the tourist section, but it's beautiful. I love Raglan. I'm not really a surfer, but it's still great to hang out. And what I liked to do was go there with my beautiful special friend and have fish and chips on the wharf. Look at the boats, smell the ocean, fresh fish and chips straight out of the ocean. Oh my God. I love New Zealand food. Almost everything is artisanal. You go to Raglan and all the little fooderies, the food places, oh my God. It's just heaven. I'd like to go to Whitianga. I have a friend down in the south of the North Island, Port, I forgot what's her name. Karen Kitts, she's over there, and she is an artist. And she's deep into the artist community of New Zealand. I have friends over in Hamilton and Huntly, and they're not officially friends, but someone I met in the movie business over in Wellington. I loved traveling around the South Island and going for adventures up into the mountains and onto the west coast. It's pretty wild. Looking to the old gold mines. Oh my gosh, I love it. I miss my friends. I really, really miss my friends there. I don't really connect with them at the moment because I don't want to stir up emotions. I don't drink anymore, but I used to drink the New Zealand artisanal beers, artisanal whiskeys. Oh my God, home brewed, basically like in America during Prohibition, with all the hillbillies up in the mountains making, what's the word for it? Bootleg whiskey. Oh my God, it's fantastic. And of course, the food is so delicious. The people are very, I would say, sweet and kind, and quite different from the Australians and different from the Scottish, the Irish, the British, and the Welsh. The New Zealand, they have their own culture. I was there during the time of Jacinda Ardern, and I don't want to get involved in the politics, but I didn't realize she was such a hardcore lefty, but she is. One thing I also found out about New Zealand a couple of days ago, you're in Tauranga. I don't drink anymore. I would love to keep drinking, but my body tells me no more. I got very, very close to Tauranga, but not quite there. A couple little places further north on the beach. And yeah, I love it there. Went way up to the Bay of Islands, north of Auckland. I did lots and lots of road trips. Oh well, I better... Oh, I'm getting so distracted. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Actually, I used to do quite a few videos from over in New Zealand, but that's years ago now. They would probably still be in the archives on my channel. I used to like to go off and do walk and talks into the wild and in the gardens, and I used to like to go to a little cafe near Hamilton. It's Woodlands Gardens. I loved it over there. Oh my God, and Hamilton Gardens, they're just beautiful. And all the boats up in Auckland, just beautiful. Oh my gosh. All right, let's have a look here. So, I'm just checking in on the chat. So what do we got? Okay, Fluffles donated. There's Linda. Hello. Hello, Linda in New Zealand. Hello to all of New Zealand. Give New Zealand a big hug for me. Hello, Necessary. I got your video about cat food. Thank you very much. Definitely helped. Definitely helped. For a while, I kept... hello, Sarah Nova. Good evening. I've already got 2 bookings. Let me just show you, folks. I've already got 2 bookings. I can't take much more. I can only handle about 3 bookings. I'm already booked up with Gregory and Fluffles. So, if anybody wants one, you better get in on it now and do the donation right now. Otherwise, we'll have to postpone till next week or do a little private one during the week. Okay? I used to keep a minivan over in New Zealand. I kept it parked at my friend's house. And it was an old minivan, but I got it at a really good price, and it took care of me, and I took care of it. And on the last trip where I departed, I felt sad kind of leaving it behind. And then my friends told me one night, oh dear, the minivan has been burglarized and all the windows smashed out. And then the next few hours later, there was a monsoon typhoon, and the van flooded out. And it was so old, and I told them, listen, you might as well just write it off and claim the insurance, and you just keep the money, and you can spend it on your vacation in Europe. And so that's what they did. You donated? Oh, okay, Sarah, hold on. Well, let me just put that over here. Okay. Thank you, Sarah. So there we go. We got 3 bookings tonight. Let me just show you a little bit of the astrology. This is pretty spectacular astrology that we're dealing with right now. I'll start over here. Some of you know that I have another show over on the other platform where I just do world astrology. It's nothing like what we're doing here tonight. So over here you will see this massive, powerful kite. Can you see that shape? There's the crossbar, and then there's the crossbar over here. It's not only a massive, powerful kite, it's a massive, powerful kite at the 0 points. So it's super, super powerful, super stressful. It's putting enormous pressure on Homo sapiens to evolve. You've got to evolve, people. You've become the #1 experts at self-destruction, dwarfing any other species on Earth. You've got to figure that stuff out. You've got to figure out better ways to behave, or your species is doomed. And it's becoming very obvious in the media, in case you hadn't noticed, with some of the nefarious characters who committed very nefarious crimes on the American people. And they're being called out now, and hopefully there will be actual live accountability. And some of them will end up in orange jumpsuits in prison behind bars with their little meme faces all over the internet. There's another kite right here. Look at that. It's not quite as fierce, but it's still there. In general, kites provide a tremendous support system in order to deal with a very fierce opposition polarity here. So relationships become very, very important. Your relationship with the world around you, or someone else with you, or you with someone else, your relationship to, wherever this stuff lands in your chart. These are the transits. And this affects the whole world, but it lands in your chart somewhere. All of these hot spots, bam, 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 land in your chart somewhere. And that's where the pressure is being felt. There's another vicious, nasty T-square right here. Again, accentuating relationships, hostility and war-like behavior in relationships. And of course, guess what? Guess what we're seeing on the global stage? WAR. Scary stuff. Alright, I better shut up or I'll get into deep trouble because I'm already getting fired up. Oof, how are we going to do this? So that's tonight's Astrodoodle, just for fun. So if you're feeling like your life is freaking out or something amazing has happened or whatever might be happening, you have full right and permission to blame the planets. Okay? Because that's what I do. And then I filter all this through my own understanding, and then I come to my own conclusions. Oh, I'm messed up because of this transit or that transit or that one. And oh, I'm feeling great because of that and that. I do that for myself all day. It's on autopilot. But most people aren't built that way. So if people want to know, I can help them out. Anyway, we're doing tarot readings tonight. I will use this as a reference. Keep it handy in the background in case we need it, because typically we do. I don't see Gregory here yet, but he did book something. So we will start with Sarah. Sarah, you are up. Let's put all this aside. By the way, just so you can feel a little bit more assured, we have a massive surge of retrogrades right now. Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury all retrograde simultaneously. So whatever can go wrong will go wrong and is going wrong in that department, that one, and that one. The easiest one to spot is Mercury, okay? Where all the lies, betrayal, and deceptions over the last 8 or 10 years or so, especially in politics in America, is coming, is being revealed and being held accountable. Thank you to Saturn and the stinky, poopy smell of all the retrograde stuff in Neptune coming to the surface. All right, here we go. Let's have a look. Put this aside. Brace yourself, Sarah. Okay? Because you never know what's going to happen. I'm going to tuck these over here. Let me just put all this stuff away. Hold on. All right. So we got all that. So we got Sarah, Gregory, and Fluffles. Okay. So Linda, just hang out if you just want to hang out. Sometimes people just show up here by magic. They don't know how or why, and they think, well, okay, this sounds weird. Live mini tarot readings? How could that possibly work? Well, you're going to find out. And then if you want to come back next week, Linda, or you can get in touch. By the way, Linda, here's, in case you're not aware, this is the world of TarotLumination. People make their donations through the donate page and the donate button. You can swipe like you do online shopping. Okay, dokie. So that's how that works. Well, we're glad you stumbled here today too. What can often happen is that someone like Sarah or Gregory or Fluffles will book a reading. People will just hang out and watch because this reading is being done live in a public arena. It would be just like us hanging out at a campsite or a campfire or maybe a coffee shop sitting around a table, and I start doing magically a reading for somebody, and some of the other people in the other parts of the cafe notice and they say, hey, do you mind if we just, can we hang out? I've never seen a tarot reading before. And I look at Sarah and I say, Sarah, what do you think? We're doing this in public anyway. And Sarah kind of goes, oh, well, I guess it doesn't matter. Sure. And then people start to hover around, and then they start to think, oh, wait a minute, that reading's for me. That reading was for me. It happens. Seriously. Okay? Just letting you know in advance so you don't freak out. All right, Sarah, let's go for it. Here we go. So let's shuffle up, people. I have to get all prepared here. All right, so Sarah, I don't see any notes. Basically, I'm just going to go blind like we do. Anything could show up. One of the things people need to know is that I'm very absent-minded. I just store very little stuff up here, mostly because this area is occupied mostly by a transceiver. There's always energy coming in, energy going out, and I have very little in terms of storage for data or information. So anything could happen, and I just read it as it is. I see some notes coming out on the screen. I'll go. Ooh. Oh, wow, look at that. What does that say? Oh, here we go. Is this some sort of stupid bot? This sounds like an attack bot. Oh, God. Do I have any people here tonight? Fluffles or Love Triber? I need some help. I'm getting attacked. There's some attack bots coming in here. I've got to figure out how to shut this down. I'm going to report them. I'm going to hate speech, graphic violence, yeah, harassment and bullying. No, hate speech. Yeah, I'm just going to harassment and bullying. There we go. report. Choose what it is. Okay, report messages. Nope, that's not working. Hold on, bear with me, folks. I have to do a report here. Hate speech report. There we go. No, harassment. I'm going to call it harassment. Oh, that's not working. Damn it. Okay, let's do that one. It's funny. It won't let me record hate speech or harassment to report it in, but it will be. Okay, I guess I have to do the same with this one as well. Please bear with me. This is just taking up a lot of time and energy. Excuse me. Okay, let's do that. Report that. If it's a bot, I don't know what we can do, because the bots are probably sent by some kind of astrology tarot attack team that lives inside, I don't know where, some sort of, I don't know, like, it's so weird. Why do they waste their time coming to places like this? It just seems so strange. It's funny, I've had to do a lot of homework with YouTube in the last few days because of my channel being attacked so much over the years. And YouTube reached out to try and offer some support and help. And so I'm working with them. We'll see what happens. But you just witnessed some of the horrible stuff that it's just non-stop. All right, anyway. Let's move on. Sarah, what's happening? Okay. So what kind of messages do we have here tonight for Sarah Nova regarding the matter of ... I don't know about you folks, but sometimes I get these little, I don't know, psychic impressions and things. I don't know if it might be just my invisible friends. I have a very vivid relationship with my invisible friends. They're up there. They help me do these shows. And it's pretty visual. Males and females, interns, guardian angels, and so on, whatever's appropriate at that moment in time. Excuse me, my eyes are kind of a mess at the moment. But I sensed this woman, female, it might have been, again, one of my invisible friends, with some very beautiful clothing, some sort of nice top garment thing, elegant, but sort of modern, maybe a little bit hippie type, beautiful fabric, and some beautiful jewelry like a necklace or a brooch or a pendant or something. So if any of you female viewers are out there got that on, just let me know. Or something similar. Anyway, it was just a very vivid impression I got just before I connected with Sarah. Okay, here we go. What kind of messages we got here for Sarah? Let's have a look. All right, this is my diagnostic spread, of course. I just call it my situational spread. What's the situation? Imagine you, Sarah, you are a car owner, and the check engine light is blinking, blinking. Something's wrong, and you panic. So you go to the auto tech guys, and they give you a free diagnostic. They plug in the little black box, which looks just like this, under the dashboard, and they wait for the computer printout, and it tells you, oh, your gasoline fuel pipe is leaking, whatever it might be. All right, and then now you know what it is, you can fix it. You got to reveal it to heal it. You get it? Here we go. All right, here is the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things moving forward. And let's have a look at external influence. We have temperance. Okay, so this is, I'm sensing here kind of a very beautiful, rich, sumptuous energy of healing. And this is something that you deserve, Sarah. But also there's a secondary layer of messaging here, is that you're the one that's going to have to initiate the healing on yourself. And I guess in a way you're sort of doing that now with this reading, but it might be to do with a very deep-seated long-term issue that you've either ignored or denied for a long time, but it's simmering there inside you. Whatever it might be, emotional, psychological, relationships, pets, families, belief systems. It could be anything, okay? Anything where you might feel pained or wounded. You might want to do, like if you were doing the astrology, for example, I would be looking at your Chiron over here. For example, today, right now, Chiron is right here. And I would be looking for that little spot in your personal chart, maybe get a little bit of depth and analysis. So, self-healing is the theme here. It's what's going on in the background. It's also what has to go forward in the foreground, okay? Whatever it might be. Maybe expectations of life, certain plans, anything and everything. Remember, we're in the retrogrades right now. We've got Pluto, Neptune, Saturn, and Mercury all retrograde. So there's a lot of pain and suffering going on right now for a lot of people as layers and layers and layers of ancient gunk are being, let's say, opened up. The wounds are being opened up for healing, okay? Band-aids torn off, pulled off, so that we can find out what the hell is going on, so we can fix it. And with those 4 retrogrades, there's a lot. So there might be a lot of issues, like layers. Okay, Sarah? Here's the situation itself. Okay, so with the 6 of Pentacles, to me, it feels like it's very much about a money issue. The material aspects of life where things are seriously out of whack in some way, and they need to be brought back into balance. Sometimes you are the donor, sometimes you are the receiver, sometimes you are the lucky one who has the ability to receive and to give. But either way, if there's some sort of imbalance in the finances, maybe large-scale finances, maybe something to do with, I don't know, work and retirement and savings and pensions, something like that, or investments, or I remember you're involved in property or real estate or something. It has to be balanced out. There's a lot of huge financial gyrations going on across planet Earth right now, so it's not surprising at all if you've got financial issues that really need attention. Okay, everybody has that. All right, now how are we going to? What's the challenges inside all this? Okay, so with the 6 of Wands here, my feeling is that you have doubts whether the situation is fixable or whether it can be healed. This is a card of victory, celebrating victory over adversaries, over challenges, and your victory is being celebrated by others because of your ability to, let's say, handle adversity and overcome things. But in this position, you may be suffering from like a very, very deep-seated self-doubt about what's actually going on in my life right now. Let's say at a 3-dimensional level, things seem to be going this way. You know, you set a path, you set intentions, expectations, and things happen, and so events happen, and so on. But you discovered that things actually kind of go whoop, and then whoop, and then, oh, wait a minute, what's happening? Makes me feel like I'm losing control, or I've lost things, or things are not quite. I have to heal this, I have to fix things. It must be, is it me? Is it my fault? Is it deep inside of me? Is it the universe trying to punish me because of my bad deeds in previous lives? I don't know. But when things deviate from expectations, let's say you have really wholesome expectations and you put a lot of, good, wholesome efforts into conducting your life and expectations, and then things kind of sort of go, whoa. It makes you feel deep inside like, oh my God, I'm losing it. Oh no, this can't happen. No, it's not allowed. I'm so close to getting things to work out, but damn it, it's very, very tough. Remember, everything is on the cusp right now. Are things going to flip this way? Are things going to flip that way? Sometimes you just have to live through periods of extreme ambivalence, where you have to hold on to both sides at the same time. Like it could go that way, it could go that way. And it's hard to handle the energy of ambivalence because it feels like you're being torn apart in the middle. But you have to live through it. Okay, how are we going to deal with this going forward? Because it looks like a lot of pressure. Okay, so with the 8 of Cups here, it looks like going forward, you might have to release some kind of expectation. So maybe you had something that was really, really important for you, really, really close to your heart. And for some reason, whatever it is, things aren't quite working out according to very well-intended expectations, plans, efforts, and so on. To the point where you realize, oh my God, wow. It doesn't matter how nice I am as a person, how good I am. Things happen. And what do? You call it life. Life happens. But the way forward is to understand that you've already left a very large trail of what I would call be loving, be loved. Be loving, be loved. Over and over and over again. So there's nothing wrong with your energy field, your intentions, your behavior. It's more like circumstantial events are what you would appear like happening to you. But Love Triber would say, actually, they're happening for you. It's like a lot of pressure to evolve spiritually and to understand whatever kind of challenges or conflicts you may experience at this moment in time that needs healing, and you know it, that needs to be harmonized and back to balance as you know it. And it feels like it's slipping through your hands, like it might be a loss or a failure. It's happening for you. Circumstances are happening for you, and it's like on a ticking clock where you realize life goes on anyway. Life goes on anyway, and things get filed away in what I would call history. So I go back to Chiron, okay? Everybody has a Chiron element somewhere. This little fellow right here, this is typically where there's a lot of pain. It's stored up, it's buried, it's permanent, it's living inside you. Like it can never heal, it's always there. People don't like to deal with it, they don't like to acknowledge it, they don't want to address it. They might attempt to heal it. It's almost like the more I try to heal it, the worse things get. And so it becomes a kind of a point of tragedy and pain and suffering, and can lead to resentment, like, damn it, why do I always fail? Why do things always go wrong when blah, 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 blah happens? And so I am attributing this whole reading to the Chiron elements in your chart. And it might be that you have a Chiron element in your chart that is being very acutely aspected by the transits right now in such a way that might be uncomfortable. In other words, spiritual evolution. Evolution often involves pain and suffering. So it's not over. It just means life moves on. But it might be on the understanding that you've created a wake of history. You've been loving, you've been loved. But certain things may not work out or happen according to very deeply held expectations and beliefs. And so what do? You might have to carry that with you. Doesn't have to be a burden, but the show goes on. Okay, Sarah? All right, there's your mini reading. I hope that helped. I'm going to go on and do the next reading.
How am I going to do this? I got to prepare a new shuffle. Oh gosh, here we go. Hold on, what's happening? Alright, I'm going to have to go back through the chat and try to find Fluffle's notes. So, where was it? Somewhere up there. Okay, everything's frozen. What happened? Oh man, what the hell's going on here? What the hell happened? Damn. Okie dokie. So I don't know what's happening over here. Everything, the chat software has completely frozen up on me. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe those attack bots, those channel hater bots did something. I don't really know. Give me a second here. I gotta figure a few things out. Nope. Top chat. How does that work? Okay. Oh, now, okay, I got it moving again. Oh. Okay, the chat is moving again now. Oh, I see what you're saying. Thank you for putting those notes out there, Sarah. You see omens. Oh, that's very interesting. I think natal chart readings are cool, but often too long. Yeah, they can get very heavy. Yeah. Hello, Robin. Hello, Necessary. I'm pretty much booked up, by the way, folks. Okay, thank you, necessary. Yeah, I was trying to find the notes. I know I had some notes here. Okay. What kind of message? How about this? We'll just keep it super simple like we do. Okay, Fluffles, just take it for granted that your little cat friend that you rescued that passed away is as alive as ever, but just on the other side. I'm very lucky. Every now and again I get very vivid pet connections. So I know it's real. I mean, I can't prove anything except unless I had a very particular circumstance. I'm not, for example, actually I'm not going to do any examples. Sorry about that. So, okay. His name was Fluffles too? Oh my god. Well, why not? Why not? Fluffles meets Fluffles. Perfect. Fluffles 1 and Fluffles 2. How funny. Yeah, I saw the typo. No worries. All right. Okay, so dear Fluffles, here we are. Settle in, get comfortable. Invite your invisible friends. You're probably already good at that. Yeah, we are all in this together. Thank you, Sarah. I think of it as a little campfire. I can't resist. It's just a very vivid image that always sits with me ever since I started the channel years ago. I always felt a vivid connection with a campfire and a retreat site type of setting. And I kind of picture being in New Zealand in a beautiful location, perhaps somewhere up like Matarangi or Whitianga or somewhere, and very close to the beach, and the weather is cool and beautiful. It's nighttime. Got a nice piece of land somewhere where you can build a bonfire. There's a little bit of shelter. You can put up a tent if you want. The ocean is just over there. You can take a plunge. It's not too cold. And people bring all their food and snacks and nibbles and beverages. And we just gather around and do readings like this. And we just share. We share stories. Just like they would have done thousands and thousands of years ago. Same thing. We're not doing anything different to what happened thousands of years ago when people will huddle around a campfire and tell stories and look up at the sky. All that good stuff. Same thing with our animals. All right, let's have a look. So what kind of message do we have for Fluffles from Fluffles? Okay. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things going forward. And here's the surrounding external influences. Okay? All right. Give me a second, okay? Fluffles, just give me a second here. Okay. Oh, it's pure love. Okay? It's very, 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 very simple. Little Fluffles, say hello to Fluffles. The background, the external influence is very divine, pure, very, very simple. It's reciprocal love with love, okay? Okay? So I'm tuning into all the fat green stuff here. There's just so much green, it's mind-boggling. It's so powerful. It's almost like we have a grand sextile. It's one of the most powerful alignments there is. Blessed, okay? Harmony, harmony, harmony. Look at that. Harmony, harmony, harmony. Opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. It's just beautiful, okay? It's an amazing way, it's an amazing alignment which allows the healing power of love to flow at maximum volume. Okay, of course, what happens with something like that, it's a tremendous surge or a current of energy, and people who are not aligned with love or the healing power of love or with the phenomenon or the energy field of love, if you think of it as an energy field, it can be very painful. I know it sounds strange, but while we were getting set up here, Fluffles, I got to share something with you. Now, I'm not going to get too detailed here, but the little rescue cat I was sensing, you don't have to affirm it, but I felt the cat was like had a bit of a lighter color, maybe even a sort of a soft, very light orange or something. If I'm out of whack, I'm out of whack. But the thing that I really sensed was this very gentle little heart. And I'm going to try and act here a little bit. And so pretend I'm the little cat. And the cat has become aware because we've opened up the portals. And the cat is here with us, okay? And the cat has the kind of character that I'm going to try to express right now. It's sort of like this. Is it very gentle little feel? A little bit shy on the other side. Not necessarily used to doing these kinds of things. So the little cat is tuning in and understands that the little cat is part of an event here this evening. And there's a very, very strong eye-to-eye contact thing here. Okay, if you can imagine that, okay, Fluffles, eye-to-eye contact, where little furry Fluffles is trying to send a signal direct to you by eye-to-eye contact that I love you. And I'm so glad that you rescued me and that you loved me. And I know you still love me. And I still love you. Very, very simple. Okay? So, let's have a look. What's the situation? So you've got the Four of Wands here. It might be appropriate to just celebrate the simplicity of what's happening here tonight. Understand that this is kind of an event in itself, having a pet reading, which is very, very specific. It's from one person to one pet. And it seems like it was very pure and very, very simple, the relationship. And it was mutual appreciation. You loved Fluffles and Fluffles loved you. And that's something truly to celebrate when you get that affirmation in a reading. And it's a very strange reading in that regard. What I'm sensing is that this reading is about the celebration that we can even do this at all. That you, Fluffles, can connect with furry Fluffles in the great beyond and understand and have affirmation and reaffirmation that love is an extremely powerful energy field, and it's very pure, it's very true, very, very simple. Love is as love does. Okay? So your act of rescue to little Fluffles is receiving basically energetic equivalent. Love breeds love. Love is as love does. I mean, it's okay talking about love. Oh, I love blah, blah, blah. But really what counts are the actions. Loving actions. And your actions of rescuing little Fluffles is, of course, deeply appreciated at the most pure, profound level. And it is something to be celebrated. That phenomenon. Now, what we're talking about here is the phenomenon of being loving and being loved. It's being illustrated in this reading, and it's something that should be shared and celebrated, and the message should be spread across the world. That it's very true, it's very, very simple, and everybody should get on board and get a taste of this. I know it sounds weird, but that's what I'm sensing. The celebration here is the celebration of love and the mutual exchange of love and being loved, being loving, being loved, and the actions themselves that triggered this beautiful, simple, pure phenomenon. All right, what's the challenges here? Well, I don't really see this as a challenge. It's more, okay, this is going to sound very strange, Fluffles, but to me, I have to convey what I'm sensing. The healing energy here is very powerful. And I think what Little Fluffles is trying to let you know is that whatever is hurting you, dear Fluffles, inside, whatever causes you pain and suffering in terms of wounds, whether it's from childhood or adolescence or adulthood, regarding relationships, love, people, career, spiritual journey, evolution, whatever it is, any component of that which is not healing, or you're having a struggle to heal, where you, Fluffles, are struggling to heal, what Little Fluffles is trying to tell you is that you don't love yourself enough. You have to be the one that brings the healing power of love to yourself. Heal thyself. Healer, heal thyself. So I know that sounds a little bit weird for a reading, but that's what Little Fluffles is trying to tell you. And so rather than, let's say, going to a doctor and say, doctor, I need some Cymbalta, I need Xanax, I need 7-OH, get me some, I need 3 energy drinks a day just to feel good. None of that is appropriate here. We're talking about deep healing from the inside out, and you're the only one who can do that, Fluffles. It has to happen from within, and for a lot of people that's very, very hard to do. One of the hardest things on planet Earth in our existence is to love thyself. Okay, that's why I have it on the banner of my channel. Love thyself. It's so hard to do, but that's what Little Fluffles is trying to tell you, Fluffles. Ultimately, you are your own healer. Okay, I know it's hard, but if you can imagine, Little Fluffles is trying to give you a sort of a cat hug right now, trying to assure you that the message is true and pure and very simple. You might not want to hear it because you might have wanted like a more understandable solution, or a solution that could come from outside, but no, it's all about you from the inside. Anyway, how are we going to proceed with this? Hello, Ibona. So we got the Tower card. So my feeling here is that it means a release, a really cathartic releasing of the wounds that you feel in life, wounds that you've been carrying for a long time, sort of like the Chiron energy I talked about with Sarah Nova, where in order for you to heal, you've got to come to terms with the reality that there is something that needs healing. And if it's so deep and so painful and so profound, it's typically what people never want to touch. They don't want to go there. The last thing you ever want to do is go to that place where there's a lot of deep pain and suffering. But Little Fluffles is telling you it's okay to do that. In fact, it's imperative that you do that. And essentially dive in, allow yourself to go through a cathartic experience maybe like a deep emotional release or something, like going off into a woods, going for a walk, and then crying. Allow yourself to cry and scream and yell, and then just get it out of you, and allow the transformation to occur. Allow the crap to just... It's like having a really big poop or a really big vomit session, and just get it out. Just get it out, and then move on, and you'll feel a little bit better. I know this is a very strange reading, but I'm just trying to convey what Little Fluffles is trying to tell me through this reading. And Little Fluffles is also telling me right now that, oh gosh, Little Fluffles seems like very gentle and very, very sweet and very, very loving, and regrets that there might be some pain that you would experience from this reading simply because of the reading itself. But the message is that's okay. That's part of the healing process. So don't be scared. Little Fluffles is still with you, Fluffles. I hope I got that right. I don't... Is it really true the little cat's named Fluffles? Anyway. So I hope that reading makes sense, Fluffles. I've said it enough times and my lips are going to get stuck. Thank you, Fluffles. Oh, God. Shut up, Tino. Oh. Okay. Okay, let's go over here. I got it. Well, I have one more reading, and that's for Gregory. I got to get all set up here. Thank you. Let's have a look. Okie dokie. Kind of shuffled up there. Let's have a look. Alright. So, thanks folks for showing up. We have one more reading for Mr. Ross. We'll see what happens there. Most of you here we've been doing this for a long time. So I really appreciate your company and your loyalty and your friendship.
your kindness, your generosity, all of it. It means a lot to me. I think I told you at the beginning of the show, YouTube reached out to me trying to suggest ways that maybe this channel could heal. And I had to, well, I'm in the process of working with them, so we'll see what happens. We'll see. All right, so last week, I think it was last week, I mentioned to folks here on Sunday Night Live about a movie called Eddington. I mentioned it because it happens to be based as a story in New Mexico, and we have a couple of folks here who come, live over there in New Mexico. That's Gregory Ross and Tina Miller. I don't see them here tonight, but they might hang out later or catch the show later or something. But it was, I was thinking about Gregory and Tina while I was watching the movie. I was so captivated by the movie, I decided to see it twice, which is a pretty rare event. Eddington. I hope you folks get to see it. All right, so let's have a look. We're reading for Gregory now. Okay, hello Ivona. I was watching your video the other day. And I was also looking at pictures of one of your little cats as well. Thank you. All right, Mr. Ross, let's see what's going on here. Cards are already shuffled, so we can dive in pretty quick. You've had such a colorful life, Mr. Ross. Ups and downs, people coming, people going, pain and suffering, victory and joy, love and healing, sorrow and grief, all of it. You cover the spectrum. All right, let's have a look. Let's have a look here. I've already shuffled, but I want to just go to the last second till I feel fully comfortable with the deck. All right, let's have a look. It's pretty good. All right, so let's ask for some really supreme clarity. I'd like to have a real cleansing of the atmosphere, and so that things are kind of pristine, pure. Sometimes it's hard to do that because when you're doing tarot readings and astrology, it's all pretty spacey stuff, and it's kind of important to keep the energy field. Like, imagine the campfire. It has to be in good condition, and the people need to be, let's say, very much in a loving frame of mind, body, heart, and soul, because that's how you capture the energy. That's how we get ourselves able to connect with heaven. It's like a funnel. It's like a straw. The energy moves from where we are up into the heavens. And it's of course very easy for that energy field to be contaminated by an external influence, like haters or monsters of nefarious ways of being. Evil is literally just the absence of love. So one of the good things, if you think of it as I'm going to have to draw up a little picture. Here's what I'm trying to illustrate, Gregory, because it's very easy he showed up. Hello, Mr. Ross. Okay, so I'm going to do the little campfire here.
Okay. And there's us sitting around there. And way off in the distance, there's the shoreline. The sun is already set, but you can see a shoreline. There's the ocean. There's some sand, and there's some grass and trees and beautiful things. Over here, some mountainscapes, little bits of bushes and trees and all that. But what I'm talking about, this is the three-dimensional world. What I'm talking about is the healing power of love, like a kind of a funnel. I wonder if I've got a pink one. Let's have a look. Is this pink? Yeah, this is kind of a pink. So it would look something like this. I hope that makes sense. Does that make sense? Can you see that? These little blobs, that represents us hanging around. There's a little focal point, the campfire, just to draw our attention and bring us together. There's the environment. And this is an energy field. It's the healing power of love. We are instruments of the healing power of love, okay? And it's up to us to maintain this connection. Keep it clean and strong and vivid and active and healthy. But of course, it's very easy for this to be contaminated externally. We can sabotage ourselves. Homo sapiens is the #1 expert organism species on planet Earth at sabotaging themselves and destroying this beautiful, pink, lovely, divine energy field. It looks more like red. It's supposed to be pink. So that's what I'm sensing here tonight, and something happens to me before this reading where I felt I had to convey this concept. So when we're doing these things, we need the maximum level of connection so that we are transceivers, okay? We are transmitting and receiving this energy all the time to one degree or another. So we're actually bringing it to ourselves, and we're sharing it amongst ourselves, like a group healing session, I guess you could say. Something like that. Anyway, let's tuck this over. Sorry about that little distraction, Mr. Ross. So I have no idea what's going to come up. Just wanted to keep things very pure, and we'll just interpret as we go, okay? Oh boy, excuse me. Oh boy, here we go. Oh boy. All right. Here we go. All right. Most of us know what's going on. We've done this many times. Here we go again. Thank you for those notes there. Striker Van Kelly from Australia. Whoa. Wow. Look at that. So we have Linda from New Zealand, and we have Striker Van Kelly from Australia. Greetings. Wow. I have a very dear friend from Australia. Haven't been in touch in a long time. Anyway, here you go. Now I have to shuffle again. All right, love? All right, here we go. Yeah, we're all over the place tonight, aren't we? That's great. All right, here we go. Sorry, I just shuffled and I cut, but I have to repeat. Here we go. Now we're in it. All right. Here's the situation. Here's challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things moving on. You're on the Tropic of Capricorn, connecting in. Thank you. Thank you. External influences over here. Give me a second. Look, okay. So we got the Three of Pentacles, all right? So let's go back to the astrology. I am interpreting these little pentacles here as, oh, not that, sorry, as tarot card representations of these big, fat, monster grand trines. There's this one here, and there's this one here. Double duty grand trines. So that's extremely powerful, benevolent energy in terms of astrology, okay? And it's supported by the opportunity here and here and here. So that's beautiful, beautiful energy. How do we translate that and bring that down to Earth to manifest here on our little planet where everything in our lives happens at a three-dimensional level? Well, this looks to me like we're still dealing with the issue of teamwork, Gregory. I seem to remember we were talking about teamwork, like your company, your office, your staff, your crew, and it's still an issue that has to be addressed because it looks like we're at a chapter in life or evolution, the evolution of the world, but in particular the evolutionary journey of Mr. Gregory Ross, where this is becoming a very important theme. You get to the point in life where you realize, I can't do what I want to do and have to do without my team, a support team. And then the support team, unconsciously or consciously, they can't fulfill their journey without being part of this. Okay? If you want to go old school tarot type teachings, this is the architecture of a cathedral or a monastery or something like that. And there's a lot of them over in England. And these would be the artisans over here, and these would be the bishops and the cardinals and the architects over here. And the reality is, these architects, with all their fancy ideas, they can't do anything without the artisan themselves. Okay? And the artisans might be very gifted, but they really need, they take their guidance from the architects. So it's a team thing. In order to build and arrive at the finished product, in this case a cathedral, or a little church, or a little pueblo house, or a company or a business, remember pentacles, money, business, it needs a team. We're talking about team effort. So let's have a look. What's the situation? Hello, Starzy. This is my last reading for the night, okay? Sorry about that. I mean, I do take bookings, as you know. I'll talk about that. Let's talk about that after the reading, okay? Here's the situation. Okay. Now, you could look at this one way, like, I have no idea what to do. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening. Frankly, I kind of don't care because I kind of don't care. On the other hand, I know something has to be done. I know I have to address the situation. And I'm kind of looking into the great beyond where there isn't exactly a lot of definition right now. It would be so nice to have some definition. But in the meantime, if there isn't any exact definition, my feeling here with the Fool card is you might as well give yourself a little bit of a break, Gregory. It might be just something really simple like taking the afternoon off taken a whole day off, put your phone on airplane mode, go out somewhere, go on some kind of little cool, unique hike or something like that. Maybe break away from your other routines. Like if you already have little, sanctuaries and places and hideouts where you go, maybe find another one, create another one, invite another one to come into your life, where it might be a new art gallery, or it might be a new coffee shop, it might be a new little village out in the middle of nowhere that has a nice bunch of tacos or something. And put on some really comfortable clothing and get some exercise and have fun. That's what this is looking like to me. In other words, okay, yes, this is happening in the background and it's of concern, but right now it looks to me like you kind of need a break to get your bearings. All right? And understand that this is just a phase. Well, thank you, SJ. It's a phase, and you have to, it's almost like you have to open, like I was talking about with this picture earlier, this thing here. You're one of these blobs, okay, Gregory? So at the individual level, what I'm feeling here with the Fool is that you really got to tap into this stuff. Like, just open yourself up to the vortex and just kind of, I'm not kidding. It would be like if I was on the beach right now, this is what I would be doing over on Venice Beach, California, LA. I'd be going out on the beach at dusk, at sunset. I'd take off my shoes, I'd walk into the shallow water, and I would sploosh around. I would open my arms out wide, and I would start screaming and yelling and singing and humming and talking to myself out loud, walking around in circles, and I wouldn't worry about what anybody said or thought or looked like. Why? Why not? Because guess what? Venice Beach is the world capital of nutcases, crackpots, artists, writers, musicians. It's like a little hive. There's nowhere else like it in the world. I miss LA very much. I'm just sharing this with you, Gregory, because for me it was a very important chapter of my life. It's over now. But I had a lot of learning and experience there, and a lot of healing, and a lot of suffering. One of the healing things I love to do is go onto the beach, like the Fool card, and just kind of wander around like some of the real nutcases on Venice Beach who literally do what I just said, but they do it while they're walking along the boardwalk. Whoa, whoa! I'm just like, oh, they're just talking to themselves, talking to the public, like, hey, I love your beautiful dress. Oh, you're so kind. Oh, I love your dog. Oh, I'm having such a beautiful day. Look. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm sensing for you, Gregory, where you need a little bit of the dose of just let yourself go, let your freaky self go. In other words, to clear. It's about clearing and just poof, like got to clear up the cobwebs, realign your aura, fluff your aura, get yourself all pristine. All right, let's see. What are the challenges here? Because what I'm talking about is actually quite hard to do. Okay, so we got the Page of Wands. Okay, so this is I'm really liking this reading, Gregory. Even though things might feel very unstable for you in some ways, I feel it's okay, because this is part of an evolutionary journey. So with the Page of Wands here, it makes me feel that there's a part of you that is trying to be tough, mature, responsible, thorough, be the boss, be in charge, get your life together, get everything working properly so that, things are rock solid, the team's good, your life's good, everything's on path, everything's working. And then you're realizing, God, I don't know shit. I'm so fucking dumb sometimes. I had no idea. Like, I lived my life. I've done so much. I've been there. I've done this. I've been loving. I've been loved. And I realized, I still have so much to learn. My God. And it's happening circumstantially. Do I really have the capability to do this? Do I have the capability to admit that I'm actually pretty innocent about things, certain matters of the world, and that I know I need to learn more, and I need to understand more about how things actually work in this world, as opposed to three-dimensional expectations and, just what you could call just the rails of life, the traffic of life. But instead, with the Page of Wands here, it's almost like you don't have to be so hard on yourself, Gregory. It's just like, yes, you still have a tremendous amount of youth and spirit inside of you that is more than ready and willing to soak up and learn whatever you can about life. And how do I extract that from this three-dimensional life journey? In other words, it would be so nice if you could just figure things out in a three-dimensional level and then implement them like an executive manager at a corporation. Just poof, I say this, I say that, do this, do that, and it happens. But it's not quite working out like that. And so you're realizing, my gosh, I am on a learning curve. And I'm at a kind of an inflection point. And I'm realizing, like, my God, I know so much already. I've done so much, but there's so much to learn. Oh my God. Am I actually capable of soaking up that much new learning, new adventure? Am I really capable of looking into the unknown, facing the unknown, and admitting that there's a lot of stuff I don't know, and that I need to know? But it's okay. I see a lot of, there's youthfulness here, and that makes me feel like you've still got a very vibrant, youthful soul. Okay? So don't worry too much. Let's have a look. How are we going to move forward? So we got back to the Pentacles again. So let's tune into the feminine aspect of your nature, as opposed to the Gregory guy aspect of your nature. What I'm seeing here with the Pentacles, the Queen of Pentacles, is that there is a part of you that has to acknowledge that you are already very good at who you are and what you do, but you've entered a lifetime and a spiritual journey where you have set extremely high standards for yourself, and you expect more, and you want more, and you are planning for more, and you intend more. The reality is that you're already, kind of an expert in the field of money, and that's why people come to you. And with the feminine energy, it's about securing, protecting, nurturing, growing the money. In other words, the way you approach money, big money, client money, in such a way that it's like being a really good custodian, like a guide, living by example or by teaching in such a way that going forward, you put all this together, going forward, it means, the way I see it, it means trust that you're already awesome and you're already like a master at who you are and what you do in this highly specialized realm. That's why people come to you. On the other hand, you are still on your own personal journey, and you're realizing, wow, it's happening simultaneously. You're on your own spiritual evolutionary journey here, and it's happening in the context of your business. Yeah, if that makes sense. Oh, somebody knows something about tarot here. Hello, Striker. Okay, well, I hope this reading did not confuse you. I hope you can see that through the layers of the reading, where this connects to here, but it's kind of like you have to go through this. All right. All right, let's just leave it at that, okay? I hope that all makes sense. I'm going to check out and clear out the stage here in a little bit, but I just want to wrap things up and say good night and wish everybody a good night. And anybody here tonight who wanted a reading but didn't get one, or who may think of getting a reading, or who you might want a reading, you can reach out. I'm still here and I'm available during the week. You can go to TarotLumination.com. There's a connect page, and you can write to me, and you can schedule or book something if you want. I can even do like, for example, I can do what we just did here tonight by remote. I can just do the reading and record it and send it to you like a little 10-minute video. Just wanted to let you know in case anyone's interested. In the meantime, be loving, be loved. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to imprint. I'm going to do some imprinting here. I want to remember, this piece of astrology is extremely rare. So let's make the best of it, okay? And here's an example of making the best of it. This is us here tonight. The pink stuff is the healing power of love. The purple stuff is us and nature and the trees and the mountains and the grass and the ocean and the waves. And there's the campfire. All right? Well, I hope that makes sense. All right, let's check out. Good night, everybody. Thanks for the new visitors from New Zealand and Australia. Please, you're welcome to come and visit. Also, for the newbies, if you want a bit of adventure, come and see me on the other platform, RUMBLE. It's like a mini YouTube, okay? So it's TarotLumination on the other platform, and I try to do as best I can a little show in the evenings. Over here it's the evening, where I go into discussions and observations about the global astrology in ways that I cannot discuss here on YouTube. Otherwise my channel would be shut down. Okay, so I'm inviting you to come and visit me on the other platform. Good night, everybody. Look after yourselves. Be loving, be loved. Love thyself. As hard as that might be. No, it's not TarotLumination. No. Get rid of the first I and the first L. It's TarotLumination. Look, I'll show you. Okay? Can you see that, Striker? It says TarotLumination. There you go. So that's how that works. All right? Take care, everyone.